It's no cap that popular social media apps like TikTok and Instagram Reels slap, but new research suggests doom scrolling on these short-form platforms may actually be affecting our auras.
We've heard it before that TikTok or Shorts causes brain rot. The sky's blue, the grass is green. What this man just said was entirely old news. No, but listen, if you genuinely think a single study is enough to prove that claim, or maybe the mere existence of your iPad kitty little brother that won't stop watching Italian AI brain rot, then just hear me out.
La vacca Saturno Saturnica.
Sorry about that. Hello, my name is Wen, and today we're talking about the recent brain rot study that's been circulating around. News outlets got this wrong. Dexerto, Euronews, NBC News, Dolan Dark. Same framing, same conclusions. And the consumers, they don't care. Panic sells. Everyone's screaming brain rot, but the study they cite doesn't actually say what they think it does. So what's the truth? Well, why don't we actually look at it? Here's the study they're all referring to. On first glance, that's a lot of info. Everyone can look at a study, but the key is digesting the contents provided, like what does this mean, what does that mean, how does this correlate to that, etc. Don't worry, I'll walk you through along the way. Could you imagine I tell you to go read the whole study before coming back to the video? That would honestly be kind of funny. Feeds, feelings, and focus. A systematic review and meta-analysis examining the cognitive and mental health correlates of short-form video use. Something that immediately stood out to me on the first page was this line right here. This study provides a critical foundation for future research to explore understudied health domains and offers insights to guide public discourse. That sentence matters. Just because a study exists doesn't mean it's a finished truth. In 2022 alone, there were over 2.8 million studies published, and that number is only growing exponentially. Science isn't a concrete answer. It's a slow, meticulous filtering process, so always approach things with critical thinking. Yes, even this video. The problem isn't research, it's what happens after research, when nuance gets compressed into headlines. So let's look closer. You might have seen this number floating around. What does that R mean? Why are there numbers in my words? Calm down, that's just the Pearson correlation coefficient, and that number always sits between -1 and +1. A value of -0.34 indicates a moderate negative relationship, meaning when one thing increases, the other tends to decrease, but this is not certain. In cognitive science, Cohen's conventions are commonly used to interpret effect size, 0.10 being small, 0.30 being moderate, and 0.50 being large. So yes, -0.34 is moderate, not weak, but also not strong. And this is already way deeper than most headlines ever go, and we're still on the first page. But here's the part they never translate. To understand what this actually means, you square it. R squared. That's it. -0.34 squared gives you 0.116. Now we convert that to percentage and we got ourselves a whopping 11.6%, meaning roughly 88.4% of the variation in poor cognition comes from other factors. And what exactly? I don't know. Probably sleep, stress, education, personality, or even the fact that no human is equal. It's hard to tell, which is why studies like these can be so damn difficult and why simply reducing them to shorts cause brain rot is lazy. So yes, the numbers exist, but outside of paper, they don't really mean much as people pretend they do. Now to be fair, the authors do raise concerns. They point out potential health impacts. I agree with that framing. They're cautious, they're specific. They also note something important. People experience short-form content very differently, which leads to inconsistent outcomes. For example, they reference studies linking short-form video use to poor attention in both younger and older populations. But here's the catch. One study focuses on adolescents, another looks at stressed Chinese adults. And yeah, Chinese media is insane, bro. What is this? Absolute cinema. If you want me to dive deeper into the world of Chinese shorts, please let me know because I feel like this is an undiscovered goldmine. But attention is something way more complex. It's not just about content length. It's about context, motivation, and expectation. If you want a briefer, brain rot edit-filled video of our attention span, well, you're in luck because this dumbass made one. Can you please go watch it? Here's the real takeaway. A lot of the studies cited in these discussions don't even need to be fully read to notice a pattern. Sometimes just reading the titles tells you enough. Stress, avoidance, compulsion, mental health context. These aren't neutral conditions. So when people say science proves short-form content causes brain rot, what they're really doing is collapsing complex conditional correlations into a moral panic. And that's not how attention works, that's not how science works. And honestly, it's not even original. That's just what happens in the modern era, which is why critical thinking is just so much more important. So how did they actually get this data? They didn't run an experiment, they didn't force people into a room just to watch TikTok, though a different study did that and I have mixed opinions. They didn't measure brains before and after. This is a meta-analysis, meaning they collected existing studies, lined them up, and looked for patterns. In total, that's 71 studies and 98,299 participants. Sounds massive, right? But here's the catch. Most of these studies are cross-sectional. They take a snapshot in time. They ask people how they use shorts and how they feel or how focused they think they are. That's it. No timeline, no direction, no proof of cause, only working with self-published results, which means this number cannot tell you whether short-form video causes attention problems, only that they show up together. Sometimes. And the authors know this. They say it repeatedly. They describe this paper as a starting point, not a conclusion, a foundation for future research. That part just never makes it into the headlines. I mean, they do point it out, but it's barely framed in a positive light. So what does this mean for us? It doesn't automatically mean shorts don't mess us up. We can most definitely get lost in time, but that's most entertainment. I mean, you don't play games for the sake of gaming, and you don't watch movies for the sake of watching movies. There's always an underlying reason why we do what we love to do. Some just prefer shorts content or AI slop because it's so accessible. That's all there is to it. So go ham. If you enjoy shorts, if you enjoy doom scrolling on TikTok, get it. Just be mindful of how much you invest in it. I'm going to end off this video here. If for whatever reason you want me to dissect the entire study, graphs, tables and all, please let me know. Otherwise there's not really much else to add here, at least not from my original thesis. I just wanted to showcase how bare minimum research is done nowadays. If you enjoyed this content, please spare me a like and subscribe. This is my second video and that would mean a lot. But I won't keep you hostage any longer. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. If you want a briefer brain rot edit filled video of our attention span, well, you're in luck because this dumbass made one. Can you please go watch it?